First, let me hop out the motherfucking Porsche. I don't want her if that ass don't sit like a Porsche. I be ballin' on these niggas, got me feeling like sports. Dash got so much wood, I could build me a fort. First, let me hop out the motherfucking Porsche. I don't want her if that ass don't sit like a Porsche. I be ballin' on these niggas, got me feeling like sports. Dash got so much wood, I could build me a fort.
Love God, love God, love God, and nothing else. O fool! The time of death is approaching. At that moment, only love for God can help you. Seek God, seek Govinda, seek Guru, O fool. When the appointed time of death draws near, all the material possessions, secular knowledge, and worldly skills you acquired will not help you. Therefore, live your life being content with whatever you have. Do not be too thirsty for things in the external world. Let your mind not be tempted. Instead, let it be disciplined. Remember, you are not the body, but the soul. You are a spark of the divine. There are 3 types of people in society: thieves, businessmen, and saints. Thieves give less to society than they take from it. Businessmen give and take equally. Saints give more than they receive. A community in which there are a good number of saintly people is one that is happy and healthy. When I was a boy, I knew of an old man who had the special habit of planting banyan and peepal trees alongside the road. When I was a boy, I knew of an old man who had the special habit of planting banyan and peepal trees alongside the road. He would also water them every day. I wondered what prompted him to do this, because at the time I did not know the value of trees. When I eventually became conscious of the environment, I realized that this old man was a holy soul with a generous vision, which unfortunately many people today still do not have. He has long passed on, but the trees he planted are still there. Another man who has planted hundreds of trees in his lifetime is one of our loving disciples in India, a retired Sanskrit teacher. Such saintly souls, who contribute much more to society than they take, are indeed rare. Do not be a workaholic. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. God, let me find more balance. Work is a means, not an end, but many of us forget this, and toiling obsessively, we ignore our own health and happiness. If we want to advance spiritually, we should not work too much, because it will only give us more excuses not to meditate. Besides, why be a workaholic when one day we will need to leave behind all that we have labored so hard for? I love working, and when necessary, I have even done so 24 hours straight with no sleep. In college, I met a man who was known as the sleepless saint. He would lie down, but he never slept. The man was no doubt an exception, but we should really be moderate in the amount we work every day. People often say they have a lot of work, but in reality, they do not. These days, machines do many of the tasks that humans did in the past. With the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, every sphere of life has became mechanized, whatever. Agriculture, industry, domestic life, and so on. At home, we have washing machines, dryers, spice grinders, juicers, and even microwaves. This mechanization has also led to an increase in our commercial attitudes. This is page 47, by the way. Nowadays, we have bought into an unhealthy lifestyle and live slothfully. In my childhood, my mother would grind the spices in a mortar and pestle. Doing this type of physical work kept her healthy. I saw her become unhealthy when she stopped all this work. This is what modernization is. Instead of walking, we pay for a gym membership to run on a treadmill machine. Yesterday, you looked at birds and walked. Today, you run on a machine and look at the wall. When I was young, I had a conversation with a German man who had come to visit Swami Sri Yukteswar's ashram in India. Our philosophies of work were different. He could not understand why we did not use more machines in India, and I could not understand why we would need machines when we had so many people to work. He argued that machines were more efficient and thus more profitable. When I asked him what would happen to the people who would lose their jobs as a result of the machines, he said they could remain unemployed and be given the extra profits the machines earn. I told him that I disagreed with his philosophy, arguing that earning our own money helps us to grow and mature. Remaining unemployed and idle is not a healthy way to live. We live in a society where desires and problems are amplified because of society's commercial attitude. If you turn on the television, you see an overwhelming amount of advertising. In fact, nowadays, even when you are driving, you might receive marketing calls on the telephone. So, while it is true that many work hard for their money, the money they earn slips right through their fingers, and often it isn't used in an intelligent way. It is evident that we are in a trap. But how do we escape? The yogi said, if you want to be a yogi, be careful of food and careful of excessive work. So, look after your own needs, but enjoy life. Living in the presence of God. When thinking about work, the simple and beautiful life of the 16th century Carmelite monk Brother Lawrence comes to mind. His teachings can be found in The Practice of the Presence of God. Brother Lawrence was a cook's assistant in a French monastery. It was his job to clean the pots, yet he knew so much about spiritual evolution that many people sought his help in overcoming their related problems. When asked how he became so wise, he simply said, I live in the presence of God. While cleaning the pots, I clean my own mind. Just as the pots should be spotless, so should my mind. Like prayer, work is worship. It is medicine and not burdensome. It is refreshing, not tiresome. If you can enjoy it, work will no longer be an obstacle. If you are leading a yogic life, and especially if you practice Kriya Yoga, all work you do should be done with love for God. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare.